How's it going, everybody? My name's Jacob. Welcome back to Jake and Steve. And for this episode of He Said, we're going to talk about this hot topic right now that is going around the Boy Scout and Girl Scout controversy. So let's jump into it. So if you haven't heard yet, on October 11th, 2017, just the other day, the Boy Scouts unanimously voted to allow girls into the Boy Scouts. As you can expect, this decision has been met with a lot of controversy across the nation, especially from the Girl Scouts, which, if you think about it, was an organization that never was in competition with the Boy Scouts before. They could exist in unity, but now there is stark competition with the Boy Scouts because girls are given the option to join either the Boy Scouts or the Girl Scouts. And this is going to be a little sticky of a situation for both organizations. So what I want to do today is share some of my opinions and thoughts on the entire situation, but then also ask some questions and pose a few scenarios to you all and see what you think of it. And hopefully we can get some juices flowing and really think about this in maybe a couple different ways and shed some new light on the entire topic to see exactly what's going on. So what I think a lot of people are going to think, and what the media is probably going to steer people to think, is that this is a step forward in the right direction for equality of women. Now girls can get the same exact treatment and programming as boys, and that there's no longer a discrimination based on your sex or gender. But I think this is extremely ironic because today everything's about empowering women. So why are the girls leaving the Girl Scouts where they should be empowered as young women, and they're going to the Boy Scouts where they probably will not receive the same empowerment by an organization that is geared towards empowering young men? This doesn't make any sense to me. The girls should be staying with the Girl Scouts and working to improve their organization and working towards the goal of empowering women in order to gain equality between men and women. And if they think there's gaps out there that they need to fix, I think that would be the best place to focus their time and effort, is to an organization that is founded on the principles of empowering young women. If the girls and the Girl Scouts who want to go to the Boy Scouts are doing so because they think that there is a lack of proper programming in the Girl Scouts, maybe that's something the Girl Scouts should take a look at, and they can incorporate some Boy Scout programming into their own organization. This would be a great fix, and it would allow the Girl Scouts to give their base of young women even more empowering activities to do and more skills and trades to learn. Because at the end of the day, if a Girl Scout wants to go and be a Boy Scout, it sounds to me like the organization of the Girl Scouts is doing their job wrong, and that they can definitely be providing better programming and better activities to better engage their members and not lose girls to an organization that is not going to do them justice and live up to the expectations of what the Girl Scouts is held to. The Boy Scouts exists for raising up and encouraging young men. The Girl Scouts exist for raising up and encouraging young women. The Boy Scouts is not going to do as good of a job with the girls as it will with the guys. So within this entire controversy, we mentioned a little bit earlier that the Girl Scouts are really not happy with the Boy Scouts at this. So going back to that, the Girl Scouts have released some interesting statements that really show how pissed off they are at the Boy Scouts. Here's one, for example. The Boy Scouts house is on fire. Instead of addressing systemic issues of continuing sexual assault, financial mismanagement, and deficient programming, BSA's senior management wants to add an accelerant to the house fire by recruiting girls. So this raises a lot of concern, because if these things are true, adding girls to the mix is not going to fix it. If what the Girl Scouts say is true, and the Boy Scouts are actually really having issues with sexual misconduct within the organization, do we really think that adding young women to that mix is going to make it any better? I don't think so. If you look at the track record, that's going to create issues between the young girls and the young guys, everywhere from the age of thinking each other have cooties to the point where they think that each other are not so cootie-ish anymore, and some other things start happening. That's going to, fan the flames of potential sexual harassment and sexual misconduct. As well, if this is a thing from a power figure going down, troop leaders, that's more people of a different gender now to have sexual misconduct with. This is a terrible idea. If that is the case, why? If I was a parent, I would not let my girl become a Boy Scout, because I wouldn't want her mingling with boys at this weird time in their life more than she already has to, because bad things are probably going to happen. And on top of that, with financial management and this deficient programming, adding more members is not gonna help you. If you give someone who's terrible with money $1 million or $10, guess what? at the end of the day, it's going to be zero because they're awful with money. So adding more members and giving more money to this organization that's already having incredible problems with their financial management is not going to solve the problem. I don't know why they think this is a great solution. I don't really think they think it's even a solution. I think it's a temporary Band-Aid to the cut that is continuing to go deeper and deeper to the point where they're just going to bleed out if they don't fix this. And the other thing too that I think is kind of ironic with this is that they talk about a house fire and adding accelerant to it. Kind of ironic because they're scouts. You build fires, you add accelerant to it. So Boy Scouts, maybe you should stop pouring gas on your fire. So another thing that is being discussed about why girls want to leave the Girl Scouts and go to the Boy Scouts is because they want to achieve the highest honor in scouthood, the Eagle Scout. Taking a look at this claim, I think there's a lot of different solutions we can come to rather than just opening up membership to all women into the Boy Scouts. The Girl Scouts could and they do offer an equivalent to the Eagle Scout. I'm not super familiar and savvy with the Girl Scouts and their rankings or even the Boy Scouts, but I do know that the Girl Scouts offer the Gold Award, which is the highest award, and it's also something that has to be attained as an individual. Same thing with the Eagle Scout. It's an individual project. So maybe it's something that can be worked on a little bit more from the Girl Scout side to make it more prestigious across the nation so people understand exactly what a Gold Award is. Or if the Gold Award isn't good enough and the Eagle Scout is really that much better, maybe the Girl Scouts could come up with a partnership program with the Boy Scouts, and once the Girl Scout earns her Gold Award, or maybe she gets to a certain point in the program, she can apply for a joint Eagle Scout through the Boy Scouts. That way she's not a member in the Boy Scouts, there's nothing going on there, but she can get that badge, that stamp of approval as an Eagle Scout and get that same exact experience and the same exact accolades just as a boy would. And lastly, I want to know what this fight is for. Is this a fight for gender equality, political correctness, or is it overall just a fight for finances? The pure business economic mainframe that the Boy Scouts need a more membership base to bring in more money to continue to run their programming in 2017. What do you think it is? Or looking even deeper into that, is it a perfect opportunity for the Boy Scouts to disguise their financial needs in either a political correctness or a gender equality shroud? Because it's easy to say for them, oh, well, we want to make sure that we are current with 2017. We want to make sure we're offering all opportunities to boys and girls to ensure that there's gender equality across the board. Or political correctness. We want to make sure we're politically correct and allow women and transgenders or whatever you identify with, we welcome you into the Scouts. Is that just a way of saying, I don't care who you are because all you are is a dollar sign to me. So come on here, just bring it in so we can continue to run our program and pay off our people. Because at the end of the day, the people at the top are running this thing as a business. So what they're going to see is more heads coming into the organization means more money, which means more programming, more power, and possibly some more corruption and things like that at the top end. I'm not familiar with the corruption levels and the things that go on behind closed doors within the Boy Scouts, but definitely if there was more people being able to join the Boy Scouts, that would mean more power and more opportunity for things like that to happen. So at the end of the day, I think this entire thing is ridiculous. I think the Boy Scouts should have never opened their doors to female membership, not because I'm against gender equality or anything like that, just because I think that the two organizations serve very niche and specific purposes. The Boy Scouts are not going to be able to serve the young women of America as well as they're going to be able to serve the young men. Just as if men wanted to join the Girl Scouts would not be able to serve the young men as well as they would the young women. And especially too, if women are pushing for equality and things of that nature, I think that it'd be more advantageous for them to build up a very strong program in the Girl Scouts and to raise them to be very strong, independent women. I don't think the Boy Scouts is going to do that good of a job. Think about it. Have you ever used a multi-tool to do anything? It's decent at what it does. I mean, it might get the job done, but you're not going to use a multi-tool to, put a house together. You're going to go ahead and get a drill or a real screwdriver, you know what I mean? You're not going to sit there with that. You're not going to use a multi-tool with a little knife to, slice bread if you have a perfectly good bread slicing knife right there. So that's the same thing. if girls want to do what's best for them, I say go to the Girl Scout because that's your perfect bread slicing knife. And the Boy Scouts is going to be turning into this multi-tool, and you're going to be sitting there slicing your bread with this like 1-inch little dull knife that's going to take years to get through that loaf of bread when you'll take seconds to get through it with the nice sharp bread cutting knife, right? Maybe a little bit of an exaggeration, but you get the picture. So that will do it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening. I really hope this maybe made you think differently or brought up some questions that maybe you didn't consider. I'm looking forward to making some more videos like this and just getting better at it as we go along. But if you like this video, feel free to give it a like and check out some of our other videos. I'll throw them up here in the screen. And also, if you really liked us, and you want to see more of what's coming down the pipeline, feel free to subscribe. We'd love to have you subscribe to us and join the fam. And keep an eye peeled for this Sunday. Steph and I will be in Toledo, and we'll be putting up a cool vlog of my home city and both of ours college city. So thank you so much. Stay tuned. Hope to see you guys next time, and have a great rest of your day.